Hey you guys, what is up? It's your girl Heey Soul, and I'm back with another episode of Earth is School. Today I want to talk about relationships when you're single. I want to talk about being single. Is it really hard? Is it really that hard to be single? Like, what is so hard about it? Like, what is it for real? Like, what's really going on? I seen a post that someone made that said, like, those of you that are married, you have been blessed by God. Like, God is protecting you because you don't have to deal with what we have to deal with out here, as you know, I am currently single. And I felt what the brother was saying. Like, trust me, I felt it, okay? I have been there. What most likely even happened and what he was basing it off of, I mean, obviously his experience as a whole, but he probably just had a situation too. He probably just had a situation where he was dating someone or went out with someone or was trying to get together with someone, and it probably was complicated. The sister probably didn't see it for what it really is, and she probably, you know, seen something he did or said in the wrong way, or and he had a different perception, and both of them didn't communicate correctly, and then it was like, and then he made the post. Okay, so I get it. I get it. I have been there. But what I explained to the brother is what I'm about to explain to y'all about being single, about the hardships. Is being married better than being single? That's pretty much the question. That's how I started off my response to the brother, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. Okay? So the thing is that I just want to take a deep breath in. Everybody take a deep breath in and out. I gotta start doing that on all my videos, so y'all don't be trying to come for me like some of y'all be trying. Okay? This isn't like a debate or anything. Everything is just what it is. So while being married can be so beautiful, right? Okay. While being married can be so beautiful, having a partner that really matches you doesn't mean that y'all do the same things, but because, you know, opposites attract like magnets, right? So just having a partner that matches you, that you have good chemistry with, that you can feel comfortable with, that you're not settling at all. I'm talking about at all. You better not be settling. I don't give a damn. Don't be settling in your marriage. This is coming from a woman that was married for almost 10 years. Okay? I feel like I put in the work. Before that, I was in a relationship for 7. We was pretty much married then. Okay? So it just wasn't legal in that one. But I feel like I have put in my work in the marriage field. I have counseled lots of couples and married couples. I have brought couples together, and I have helped couples realize that it's time for separation. And then I also have my experience being single. So I feel like I have experience enough on both ends to not have a biased opinion on either. Of course, married people say marriage is better, most of them, and then single people say being single is worse or better depending on their experience. And that is why the conclusion is really neither of them is better or worse. They are just what are. It is just what it is. You can be in a married relationship, right? You can be in a marriage and you can go through a whole bunch of shit, all right? When you're married, it doesn't matter if your connection is perfection. You two are best friends. Y'all love each other so much. I don't give up. I don't care. It's a lot of work, all right? It's a lot of work. You are going to feel disappointment. You are going to go through it. You're talking about building and journeying this life with another human being. And I'm talking about years of marriage, having children, going through in and out of poverty or whatever. Like, it's real. It's real. It's work, right? Even if your relationship is beautiful, even if your marriage is beautiful, if you are at the 10, 15, 20 year mark, then you know what I'm talking about. You know that you might love your husband or your wife. You not maybe, you definitely do, right? You love the hell out of them. That's your boo. That's your everything. But you also know that it was work to get here. And that's what people that have a lot of comments about marriage being better, they haven't been married before, or they haven't reached past that 5-year mark. So they don't really understand that it's not about if it's better or worse. Even you who's watching this, you might be in a real good, solid marriage. But does that mean all your friends are? Does that mean everybody you know that's married is? No, it doesn't work like that. So marriage isn't better or worse, it's just what is. And everyone's marriage is based off of what they decide to do, how they decide to go about it. And in the end, I don't care, again, if your marriage is a good one or a bad one, you put in a lot of work. It's work, baby. This is the problem. Like, I truly believe that this is why marriages don't last. Because we go into a marriage romanticizing marriage. We get married, we have the wedding, and we romanticize the whole thing. To be in a marriage, to maintain your marriage, it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes work. So when we have been like shuffled with all of this like TV propaganda, these shows and these movies and things that teach us that marriage is so easy and that you really don't have to work that hard, and that, you know, oh, as long as you guys have good chemistry and you're compatible, then it'll be a lot easier. And it doesn't matter, because everyone has things they need to heal from. Everyone is growing every single year. I'm not even the same woman I was 6 months ago. You're not even the same man or woman that you were last year. We are evolving beings. So we're talking about you being one way, right? And I never switched it up, so I'm not saying I'm a completely changed woman, but I've definitely elevated every single year. Every 6 months, I'm on another level. So we're talking about us meeting each other at one level, falling in love at another level, going through the love, going through the whatever it takes. There are depression. We have deaths in our family and our friends. We have situations. We got bills that, you know, there's 3D shit, right? So it takes a really strong couple. It takes a couple that is really really have the understanding and maintaining the understanding that you're not supposed to go to sleep angry with each other, that you are supposed to see this as y'all two against the world, and the world not even against you, the world working in your favor. You like there's a rarity for two people to come together and have this same mindset right away. It's something that you end up developing. It's something that you learn, and you don't learn it the hard way. You just learn it the way, and it's hard, okay? It's hard. It's hard when you have a situation with your spouse and you did something or said something and they did something or said something, but they see it one way and you see it another way, and you guys are trying to get to the bottom of it, but somebody might not be as you know, open to listening. Somebody might be a little bit more emotional about it. Somebody might be triggered from their past. It's so many different details involved that it's really like very general to say that marriage is better. It's a hella general statement that is just super biased and just makes absolutely no sense. It just makes no sense. I think that we only have that perception whenever we are not really like accepting of things and we're not really understanding the way things really work on this planet, okay? In this matrix. So when it comes to being single, right? I have my experience of being single. Before my marriage, I had this much experience being single, right? I was married for all those years. Then I was like single for like a few months. And then I was also with someone for like almost 3 years. And then I was single for like 3 months. And then I was with someone for 7 years. And that was from me being the age 13 or 14. So all my life, like my friends have teased me. They're like, you've been married since we was like 8. Right? So while I haven't been single as long as I've been in relationships, I don't think that it takes that long to really understand the way that it goes. And I also, let me say this before I get into this. If you have not been single over the last 8 to 10 years, you can't speak too much on being single, because it's different. Things change. Social media is way more lit than it was back in the Black Planet days. Was it called Black Planet? Was that the okay, back in the Moco Space, MySpace days, right? Social media has a big effect on the way that we date, on the way that we even go about our relationships too, the way that we're single, this music, like all these things play a factor. So one thing the reason I'm saying this is because from a single woman, one thing I find about people that are married and that have once obviously been single before is that they happen to have like this type of opinion about like, oh, well, you should have said this, you should have did this, oh, this is what they meant, this is what your single, the person that you're going on a date with, this is what they really meant. But you've been married for how long? You can't really say how things are because things are so different. You can say how marriage is. You should speak on marriage because you're married. But unless you have two different angles, and if it's been so long ago, the last time I was married was almost 6 years ago. The last time I was in a relationship was about 3 years ago. So if you go about your relationships like their marriages, you know, when you're living in a house with someone, you have a family, then okay, you can say the last time I was married was 3 years ago. We just didn't get legally married. You know what I mean? But I'm speaking on this because when you have a year's gap of experiencing being in a certain position, it's really hard for you to have the right kind of opinion that will actually be helpful and that won't be biased or that won't be wrong, because things have changed. Things always change, you know. The way that we go about marriages, that doesn't change too much because it is embedded with religion and how we were raised and what the Disney Channel gave us about how, you know, relationships are supposed to go and stuff like that. But when it comes to being single, a lot really does change. The way that men go about it, the way that women are going about our single life is very different from how it was even 8 to 10 years ago, right? So I'm just saying that let's keep that in mind, because there's different positions and there's different levels to this, if that makes sense. So I personally have to say that, hell yeah, it is hard being single sometimes, right? Hell yeah, it's hard being single sometimes. I think the thing that makes being single really hard though is our perception on what being single is, right? An individual's idea of what being single is and the way that we approach dating. I think those two things is what makes being single hard. If you are looking at your single life like you're alone, if a synonym for single is alone to you, then you're automatically saying that it's hard, and you probably go to bed at night wishing someone would hold you and wishing to be caressed and all that. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but I am saying that if you're feeling like that, you most likely have not embraced your single life yet. And the way that we approach our dating life when it comes to being single are the romanticizing that we do, the expectations that we have when we're on the dates, and the searching of a soulmate, stuff like that. All this shit is what makes being single hard. And I know this from experience of being single. I know how I was when I first started my single life. These last two relationships I've had, when I left my ex-husband and in this last relationship with my twin flame, I know how I was in the very beginning. I know that I wanted that comfort. I craved that, you know, someone to hold me. You know, if that wasn't what I was getting in the end of my last relationship, then that's what I automatically was wanting, because I was wanting it from that person, right? And then as soon as I began to shift the focus from an external focus to inward, once I started really like being in myself and loving on myself, it was no longer a desire. It didn't feel like something I was missing. I was able to go to sleep and I felt so good stretching out in my bed and being able to sleep how I want. You know, there is the perception of everything that happens is what impacts us. So again, if you're going about your single life like, oh my God, I wish someone would just hold me, I don't know why, I'm so lonely, it's been so long, you gotta change your perception. You gotta change the way that you're approaching being single. How many of those nights have you had in your bed and just been grateful that you don't have someone that you gotta argue with at night, or someone that is, you know, taking up the space, and you know, maybe he don't want to hold you, and you know, and I'm not saying that's everybody, right? Because you can totally have a marriage, a relationship that's not the case. But also reality is there's a lot of people in relationships that are dealing with that. You know how many women are in relationships watching this video and are not being held at night? Like y'all been together for years and y'all sleep separate in separate rooms or on the opposite side of the beds, totally separate. You know how many women are in relationships right now and they have slept separate so long in the bed next to their spouse that there are imprints in the mattress where they sleep with a big gap in between them. This is what is happening in people's homes. Is it everyone's marriage? Absolutely not. Are there people that are out here married and they can't even sleep without their spouse? Like they gotta hold them tight, and when they sleep, they're like pretzeled up? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love you couples. I'm so happy for the men and the women that are giving each other that comfort, because men need it too. Men need to be held and caressed too. So I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for you guys. Like, I'm happy that you guys are receiving that love. But the reality is that that's not everybody in their relationship. The reality is that that wasn't always you in your last relationship, right? Let's be real, right? So you gotta take in what things are right now. You gotta be grateful for where you are right now. Most of us know that when you're searching and you're desperately looking and you're always thinking about your soulmate, where's my soulmate? Where is my partner? Oh, where is he? Oh my goodness, is he going to be here tonight? Is he going to approach me? When you're thinking like that, there's like a 98% chance that you're not going to find that one. It's like a 98% chance that that man or that woman is not going to be coming through for you. You're going to get a whole bunch of more lessons that's going to point you in the direction of loving yourself, of being grateful for where you are right now. That's what you're going to get instead. And as soon as you decide to let go, right? As soon as you say, okay, forget it. I'm not even going to be searching anymore. This is not even like a thing for me anymore. I know my lover is coming at the time. Then all of a sudden, you're going to start attracting the things that you want. And even if it's not the actual person you're going to be with, even if it's not, and I'm going to get to that in a second when I talk about how I think that we should be dating. Even if it's not that person, you're going to start getting these potentials. Like, these potentials is going to be looking good. You're going to start having a lighter dating life, okay? It's not going to be something that you have to think so much about and you got to be so frustrated about, and like, you know, because you're going to be selective with your energy, right? Because energy is expensive, right? Your energy is not cheap. So you're going to begin to be more selective. A lot of times we are having such a bad experience in our dating life because you choosing everybody that's choosing you. Why are you choosing everybody that's choosing you? Why you